Huh? The book of Judges, which is really the book of deliverers. Am I right? Because the name Japhet in Hebrew means deliverers. So you got a book of deliverance of people that never got delivered. That went over well. That's the kind of statement that somebody gonna put in the group and say, what do you mean by that? Let me just clarify. It's a book, it's a history, a canonization of folks that never completely experienced their deliverance. Because it'll tell you in Judges 2 and 10 that as soon as Joshua left the scene, people did what they wanted to. So you can belong to a tribe, you can belong to a clan, you can belong to a faith, a household of faith, you can belong to a church as this. And if I ain't here, no, let me leave it alone. But the book of Judges is about people that did not. Yeah, Jesus? What's up? Oh. Okay. Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's go start at verse 1. We're going to look at Micah and this household that's in Ephraim, which is the Ephraim Mount. Well, anyhow, without being, I don't want to bore you guys, but I believe if you're going to really be skillful in the word of righteousness, not only do you look for deep stuff, honey, but you got to know the milk too. Because some folks want honey. They got a sweet tooth as it relates to scriptures. And then, but you need milk for the bones. So I thank God, I didn't become honey first. I had to get the bones first. I had to get the milk because the milk does your body good.
That's the strength, yeah.
Yep. So I can go from Genesis all the way through and see Christ in there. Okay? And it says, and there was a man of Mount Ephraim whose name was who? Micah, who is like God. That's what Micah, Michael, Michal, all those words are like God. Amen? And he said unto his mother, the 1100 shekels of silver, the who? 1100 shekels of silver that were taken from thee, about which thou cursed and spoke of also in my ears. Behold, the silver is with me, I took it. And his mother said, blessed thou, Lord, my son. And when he had restored the 1100 shekels of silver to his mother said, I had wholly dedicated the silver unto the Lord from my hand for my son to make a graven image and a molten image. So we don't have the full scope of the conversation, but from what I understand, it's not why he took it, but it's actually the objective for him taking it. So he took what was dedicated unto the Lord and made his own image. Nobody, you know if I know. I mean, that might be your tithe and offering, but we'll move on. 3. Where were we? 4. And yet he restored the money unto his mother, and his mother took 200 shekels of silver and gave them to the founder. That's just the silversmith, the one who created the image. Who made thereof a graven image and a molten image, and they were in the house of who? Micah. So we have this Micah guy who has a mother that's not necessarily of great pedigree, because you got to understand at the time of the book of Judges, other than Shiloh, they had no place to worship. So that's the backdrop. So the issue of images, graven images, molten images, is about worship. Originally, they were told not to have any image, graven image. Am I right? So now they made an image, a physical representation of some type of deity. Okay. And it says that, where am I? 5? Yeah. And the man Micah had a house of God. So this man who had a whole bunch of denominations, had a house of God. And made an ephod and a teraphim and consecrated one of his sons who became his priest. So he didn't have to go to church. He just found one of his sons that see from his perspective that can understand what he sees and made him a priest. Now, of course, you had to be a Levite to be a priest. This is a form of denominationalism. I'm going to bring it all full circle, help you out. But something should be clear. as I'm reading. Am I right? Became his priest. Became his priest. His personal priest. Remind you of some places, don't it? Next verse. I see it all on Facebook. I'm serious. I see Micah's all on Facebook. Graven images. People who have their favorite teacher and preacher. Yeah. In those days, there was no king in Israel. So there was no government. There was no structure. Am I right? Y'all all right? But y'all probably don't even read your Old Testament. That's probably why y'all looking like that. I know. But every man did that was right in who? So what happens when you have no government? Do it the way you want to. Right? I always say Burger King, have it your way. That's a good head. But every man did that which was right in his own eyes. That's the backdrop for the denominationalism. Every man, every person builds a construct, a religious construct, after their own understanding. Because eyes is understanding. Right? So they did what they wanted to because of their level of perception or understanding. Because why? Because there was no headship, there was no government, there was no order, there was no structure, there was no insight. Next. And there was a young man out of Bethlehem, Judah, of the family of Judah, who was a Levite. Now that's, if you read it, you'd be like, oh, okay, that's great. Something's finna change. But it's not even the true essence of, because how many know the Levites were not supposed to have any inheritance? So this guy found him a spot in Bethlehem, Judah, and was a Levite. Oh, that'll preach. Was a Levite, and he sojourned there. Okay? And the man departed out of the city from Bethlehem, Judah, to sojourn where he could find a place. And he came to Mount Ephraim, to the house of Micah, as he journeyed. So now all of a sudden, there's a crescendo. First, Micah was able to build something personal out of his own sweat of his own hands. He could find something that he could build, and he worshiped the works of his own hands. Now all of a sudden, this religious figure shows up. This guy that has some sort of genealogy or some sort of connection to a Levite, or has a form. Okay, okay. Yeah. Okay. That's why folks be like, it don't matter what church you go to. You lying, you front? Oh, yes, they do. He came to Mount Ephraim, to the house of Micah, as he journeyed. Next verse. And Micah said to him, hey, where you come from? He said, hey, man, I'm a Levite. I got the goods. I'm a Bethlehem, Judah. He said, I go to find a place for me. I'm looking to find a place. Right? So he's looking for somewhere to lodge. So he gave him his resume. Yes. Gave him his business card. Come on. I'm an apostle. I'm a prophet. Okay, I go to next. And Micah said unto him, dwell with me, and be unto me a father and a priest. That's happening on Facebook. It's happening across the globe. People looking for fathers and a religious figure. Right? And I give thee 10 shekels of silver for the year, and a suit of apparel and victuals. So the Levite went in. So he said, look, I'll take care of your, I'll give you, what do they call that? Salary. I'll take care of your salary. I'll give you a bribe. I'll give you a suit of apparel. So this is some of the things that's within the system that gives you an opportunity for the appearance of spirituality. So you can have, then I'll give you a suit of apparel. I'll give you what they call it, whited collar.
Yeah.
I remember one day I was pastoring for a couple of years, and seriously, I don't know if you remember I was going to go there. But this dude told me, he's an apostle. I mean, it was 90 degrees outside. Right? 90 degrees. I had him, I don't know if you remember this. I was like, went to a business and I had on shorts. Now he had a long sleeve shirt and dress slacks. I sweat, so I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm hot, you know, so I'm like, I'm comfortable. He wanted to let me know why I didn't have on pants. My mind, I'm saying, you like my legs? He must have seen my calves. I don't know what it is that made it just solicit some response that he wanted to give me his apparel. So you can go to certain places, you can find out, oh boy, let me leave it alone. There's certain apparel even on Facebook, skinny jeans, everybody got on, let me move along. And victuals, am I right? Everybody got, some folks need to leave skinny alone. Get the jeans. Just bypass skinny. I get so mad, this is a sidetrack, but I get mad. I'm going in stores, man, I go from place to place, I'm looking for jeans. I'm not looking for skinny. Slim and skinny is, now when I was in high school, slim and skinny could go. I'm looking for relax. I'm looking for straight jeans. You know what I'm saying? Probably tell you that. I get mad, I'm like, man, some bad jeans, and you flip it up. Oh, man, skinny, slim. I guess we have to wait 10 years till they come back around, because this come back around. So he had a salary, he had a certain level of appearance, and then he had a certain victuals. And victuals is food. If you spiritualize all that, that's what happens when you get into denominationalism. Everybody has a certain appearance. It's always about money. It's always about this. Then they have a certain food. But anyway, so the Levite went in. So it was enough to convince him to say, you know what? I don't have a place to go, so I'm going here. Next verse. And the Levite was content, huh?
It's a lot in here.
Oh, it is. And the Levite was content to dwell with the man. Now, he don't even know who he dwelling with, but he was content because of the offer.
Right.
And the young man was unto him as one of his sons. You can't, see, just like here, people, you know, in denominational churches, everybody becomes sons. But they become sons without relationship.
Right.
I've had some people tell me, say, that's my father. But I'm only a father by relationship. I'm not a father if I can't correct you.
Come on now.
If I can't guide you.
That's right.
If I can't give you wisdom.
Yeah.
That's because that's what fathers do.
Yeah.